pathways should be a really interesting message to everyone, in particular, anyone that's listening to a
All right, y'all, we are live. Welcome back to the show. Got a friend of mine joining the show for the first time. Man, the one and only Louisiana's own Gary Cardone. Gary, how are you doing, brother?
Good, my man. Good. Just been up since 4 o'clock this morning working my buns off. So but yeah, I'm good. I'm intellectually stimulated. I mean, not being in trouble.
Man, I know the feeling, Gary. And look, y'all, this is a live show. So if you have any questions, man, drop them in the chat. Gary and I will answer live. I just ask that y'all be respectful to my guests. Now, Gary, I was watching your interview with your brother, Grant. And man, I'm just sitting there because I'm from Louisiana. I live right outside of New Orleans, man. And just hearing y'all stories as kids growing up. And it was almost like so similar to my childhood. Now, I didn't maybe get in as much trouble as y'all did, but it really just like motivated me, man, to keep doing what I'm doing. And it really kind of like, I look at y'all as mentors. So this is really awesome to have you on, man.
Oh, thank you, man. That's it. That's really that's probably mostly why I do this.
Oh, dude, so I know you had mentioned that, you kind of stayed, out of social media, out of, podcasts, and that was more Grant's thing. That was because you were kind of in the corporate world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I help build a public company, and you have shares. You have to be a little respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, Grant saw Facebook and punctured it. Really, really took it. Really grabbed it. And quite frankly, I mean, I looked at that and said, "Oh, that's really interesting what he's done." It would not have been my approach, and I have never liked consumer businesses. But some of the most successful people I know, in fact, one of my investments throws off so much cash, and it too is a consumer business. So consumer focused, but it's just never been my deal. I don't like consumers. You'll see why probably this weekend, because they cause trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They require specialty. I think when your mind works in a certain way that you can't serve certain markets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you know what? It's a great story how two kids with not a lot really. I mean, I don't want to overplay how much we didn't have. We should not overplay it. We had 3 squares a day. Okay, I wasn't being beat, raped, or I mean, there's a lot of people that had it worse.
So, yeah, somebody's always got it worse, but you still,
Sure, man. But for 2 guys popping out of one home in a really, not a prestigious area, and then both taking really very, very different pathways should be a really interesting message to everyone, in particular, anyone that's listening to a career educator person. Like, you know what you need to do. You don't need to go ask somebody what to do. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can make it in this world, depending on which, no matter what path you take.
Now, I don't remember if it was with your interview with Patrick Bet-David or with Grant, and you had kind of mentioned, that your think needs to be better, so, coming from Lake Charles, I'm coming from a small town outside of New Orleans, could you kind of break down what you mean by that? Your think has to be better. And when did that hit you? Like, did that hit you in college, high school?
Can you remind me of the phrase again?
Yeah, you basically said like your think needs to be bigger. Like, at some point you got to see like this bigger picture. I think y'all were referring to, you and Grant. And then you had mentioned, like real estate made millionaires, but Wall Street made billionaires. Cause Grant went more to the real estate route and you went more into the commodities route.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, for sure. Like, I find real estate very boring. Okay. There have been a lot of rich people from made in real estate, and look, I have investments with Grant.
Mm-hmm.
I should actually do an assessment over some of my trading decisions. See, I invest in companies, I buy them. I don't make any money. Like Grant loves cash flow. I don't make money for years sometimes. Like my last deal that I just exited, I stopped taking a salary. I don't think I took a salary ever. And if I did, I just stopped because somebody was whining that I wasn't doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, gosh, I'll just stop taking the salary. Now nobody can, blame me. But so I'm underpaid like 90% of the time, and then I get a smackaroonie.
So what do you mean by that? Like you're putting in sweat equity into these companies and you're building it out for an exit? Is that like you're looking at the bigger picture?
Well, so you asked about, hey, get the big thought, but I just wanted to make sure people understood, we just get to different places. Grant, at some point, I told Grant for a decade, now he won't tell you this, but I told him for maybe 15 years, hey, you have to expand out of the automobile industry. You're too comfortable there. You have to go mainstream. I think he did furniture, and then, hey, listen, everybody's scared to go break into a new industry. Okay, it's scary. It's
Yeah.
scary. You don't know the nomenclature. You don't have any contacts. The contacts you do get, you have to ask somebody, and now you owe them a favor. Man, it's hard. That's why people get stuck in industries, which I think is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in now 4 industries, and I'm going to get to the big think here in a second. But what Grant's done is Grant realized after, okay, he's selling to automobile dealers,
Mm-hmm.
pitching books and motivation. And then he saw the internet, and then he started, going kind of Anthony Robbins thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's really, I think, pulled it all together with his style of entertainment. And he used, as did Trump, he really put his beak into technology, which is very interesting. How old is Trump today?
He's got to be in his 70s. Right? Yeah, his 70s.
70-year-old and a 60-year-old, 50-year-old.
And Grant did an interview with Trump too, right?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
But he, these older guys seeing this problem and going, hey, this Facebook thing, I can use this to get my message out. So when I say think big, I have dealt with really, really large companies my whole life. I mean, from ExxonMobil to Norwegian government, the UK government. I spent 5 years with the UK energy minister, changing the way the energy markets work in the entire United Kingdom. I mean, that market today works because some crazy Yank like me walked over there on a 6-month assignment. I came back 10 years, built 2 multi-billion-dollar businesses, and the price in the United Kingdom, I've never said this to anyone before. The price in the United Kingdom when I got there was here. I'm going to confuse you with the currencies and the units, so I'm not going to do that to you. But the price was here. By the time I left, the price had literally gone below 50%.
Real.
Okay, and it shows you the power of competitive forces that markets, if you can design markets very carefully, you can remove cartels, you can remove club structure, monopoly structures that are by de facto grossly inefficient.
Mm-hmm.
They're paid to be inefficient, and there's no transparency. And so you move from big corporate world to consumer. I'm actually the Robin Hood to the consumer. This is what's so fucking hilarious about this FTC suit, because I have saved millions of people, like, thousands of dollars on the utility bills in the United Kingdom for 10 years alone. I mean, just go ask anybody in energy in the United Kingdom what their energy bills did while I was there. Funny enough, 2002, go track the damn chart on nat gas and at Thettlethorpe, or the natural gas balancing point in the UK. I guarantee you, 2002, price started creeping up.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
When I left, people left. And so I began to understand that thinking big does not require any more energy. Okay. Like, I went over there when I was 30 years old. I looked at their business and I said, I have a job to write them a white paper on a strategy, I just thought. And I did that. And it was the best piece of work that has never been published by me. It was trashed immediately. But the entire white paper was on that the UK was under the United Kingdom and the energy monopoly there. I was actually helping them. So there's 3 rules for startups and outsiders coming into new markets. I've been in nat gas power in the United Kingdom. Payments, this is what I'm in trouble for. Fucking hilarious. and now Bitcoin blockchain, and they all share this really interesting common thread. All of them are undergoing some type of disruption when I'm in it. And I'm always like right there kind of early. In payments, I was not early. I was extremely late. And all I did was sit there and looked at problems, the entire plastic credit card duopoly system that's so underregulated. It's unbelievable. Okay. They overregulate symptoms and grossly regulate any core problems. Trillions of dollars stick up the ass of the consumer. Okay. Hidden tax. Okay. Like getting an enema to every year, dude. And nobody knows it. And then they get charged for it. So when I see these markets, I'm like, wow. And I've learned that you can do more damage in a market and change it more if you attack the vectors that are their game theory type vectors, which, like, my favorite book is The Art of War. I mean, I've always studied a lot. Okay. And I think
Sun Tzu.
yeah, dude, that if you're an entrepreneur and you have not like studied that book, you're going to get crushed by somebody that does.
Trump, that's like his, one of his favorite books, he said, right?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, you just need a couple of maxims that you can. So I don't know, man. One day I learned that doing a deal for $1,000 is actually more difficult than doing a deal for 10.
Mhm.
And doing a deal for $1 million is a lot easier than doing one for 10. I mean, the guys with $1,000 and $10,000 deals, they're problematic.
Mhm.
And you go, I was swinging 400 megawatt power stations on telephone calls with Enron, man, and Goldman. And, there is no crybabies in that world.
Mhm.
We just take our bumps and move on. It's a professional war game, and it's based on supply and demand. And that's what commodity trading really is. And we're moving into a universe. And this is the really cool thing I learned talking about the big think, because I'm trying to share with you guys 30 or 40 years of what's packing up. I'm having a very difficult challenge to explain this, but I see this world as you have cycles, periods, and cycles where you have certain things occurring. A lot of regulation, too little regulation, monopoly structures, deregulation, privatization. We're globalizing. No, we're going to go to war. Hey, we're going to globalize and we're going to go to war and we're all going to have sex together, right? And everybody's going to do a GDP of 4.5%. And you're looking around going, hey, this place is psychotic, right?
Mhm.
So, and what's happening, I think, is if you believe in cycles, and I do, because that's all I've really studied, then I think we've had 200 years of using legacy assets and even legacy thought process. I have to do a contract with you. There has to be money exchange between us. We need an NDA. I haven't signed an NDA in 2 years. I refuse to. They're ridiculous.
Mhm.
Go get a Visa. Go get an NDA from Visa or MasterCard. It basically says, you are shit out of luck, dude, because there's no, they're ridiculous. We should be living in a
Mhm.
world of transparency. And then if you start to understand how the dynamics of a market work, dude, if you can get that to happen, all the constructs, all the clubs fall apart. And I think that's what's happening right now. You have industries actually now fighting each other for
Mhm.
pieces of the pie of a declining carcass.
The race to zero.
Yeah, totally, dude. They're going to kill it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
now they're
so
gonna themselves watch. And this is going to be really fascinating. The really bad companies could possibly win.
yeah, the best companies don't always win. I know exactly what you're talking about. I own a small payment processing firm, so I know all what you're talking about, these card brands. Now, it was interesting. I think it was today your brother posted about something about buying Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm a real estate investor, but I think I see Bitcoin and crypto as, the greatest asset and the greatest opportunity for my generation to make, financial wealth, generational wealth. And, I was watching your interview with Anthony Saramucci, and he said that Bitcoin is a once in a century event. And if y'all don't know who Anthony Saramucci is, I mean, he's, look him up, y'all. So, I mean, do you agree with that this is a once in a century, investment opportunity for us?
Um, I think I'm the one that came up with that phrase. And I think he talks about once in a species event or something.
Mhm.
Hey, look, this is a big deal. Um, it's a really big deal. And it's so hard for most legacy people to actually understand the implications here because they're very, very comfortable with the way the world works today. I mean, these are hidden fees. And I don't know about you, but maybe some of your audience. Just FYI, there's $7 trillion in hidden fees in all the banking system. You pay for all of them. And by you, I do mean you and not me.
Mhm.
Okay, so the rich guys get to call the bank up every year. Hey, all those overdrafts, dude, rock them. They can just go away. Literally go away. They're refunded as a bundle. So that's, is that fair?
No. I mean, during COVID, the banks made record profits in overdraft fees, something they don't need to do.
That's uncool. Okay. We also sold how many billions of masks?
That got polluted into our oceans
On
to the
the
people that
credit card payment system that charge 4.5 to 8%. Okay, when you look at all the fees and how you get raped, the time value of money, especially in this interest rate market, they're holding money for 90 days. They hold reserves. No proof that a chargeback's really a chargeback. No proof whatsoever. Okay.
small business loses every time in a chargeback.
System is so fatally flawed.
Yep.
And this is the value I'm bringing. And this is my big thing now. Now I've been able to connect energy. And I do not know, contrary to my prior partner, I do not need to know every detail about every detail. See, that's where founders and entrepreneurs, I think, and people that are really, really, really long a particular asset class, like Granny Tooney. Now Grant's branching off, but if you notice, everything Grant does has to feed the core deal.
Yeah.
Okay. And
That's smart.
Dude, it is smart. I could actually disagree that he's left a shitload of money off on the table.
We all have, though, Gary. Whether crypto, real estate.
Totally. But my point is that everyone should be looking at this going, hey, y'all go, hey, Grant, he's ahead of us. Dude, this market's so big. Grant couldn't digest all the opportunities if he had another 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
Same. I feel
amazing.
like there's not enough time to learn it all. There's so much information. It's so fascinating.
Yeah. So if you think about all the change that's occurring in the legacy world he plays in, and also his own footprint and what he's doing, he has zero time to study a new industry. Okay. So he'll end up doing what guys like your clients and maybe a guy like me, if I'm going into real estate, it's either my house, which I hate buying homes, or I'm going to give the money to Grant and go, hey, go pick a winner, man. Like, I don't care. It's not my business. But you want to smash $10 million and turn it into 500. I'm probably your guy, right? I'm the guy that gives you access to like the future market. And I think this blockchain thing, like, you let me know last time you saw an opportunity to farm, shape, drive $100 trillion industry.
It's really unbelievable, how early we're in. And, a funny story, Gary, is, I went to go buy some gold and silver. I believe in diversification. I own a ton of crypto, ton of real estate. I was going to buy some gold.
Rich, man. That just means you're rich. See, when
nah, man, I'm not rich, man.
You put bucks out there, okay, the only people that diversify are really rich people.
Yeah, some people are against diversification. They say you should go all in on what you know so that you can amplify that. So the guy at the gold shop, me and him are talking. I bring up Bitcoin, obviously a gold and silver shop. He hates Bitcoin. So we're kind of going back and forth. And I'm just like, dude, like you have no idea. And this was his pushback. This was his argument. He said, we can sit here and go back and forth in this, but we're both missing the number one asset. Then I'm watching your interview with your brother. And you talked about that you had bought like a whole shipping container full of AR-15s or something. Well, that's what he said. The real big investment that's going to, be worth more, 10, 20 years from now is going to be bullets and, AR style rifles. And then I heard your interview and I'm like, shoot, maybe I should sell this Bitcoin and buy some ARs.
No, bro, you do not want to sell Bitcoin. Okay. And you most definitely do not want to sell Bitcoin right now. Okay.
Well,
like you only have gold. I know the history of gold. I got it. Okay. Gold for me in the last 10 years was a really bad investment. Okay. So let's think about it this way. I took $10 million at Chargebacks 911 and turned it into $500 million.
Wow.
In 12 years. Now, I destroyed a family. Well, we destroyed a family over it. It was extremely expensive emotionally. I mean, I got this FTC shit. it's happened that like 40 years I have been in the most crazy businesses on the planet. Not one civil suit, not one discriminatory whisper. Thousands of staff all over the world with different like global, HR things. And you come into the payments business, it's hilarious. I mean, I think I know who called on me. I think somebody said, "Hey, they're making too much noise." And that sounds crazy, but that happens when you're disrupting markets. So what like I was threatened to be expelled from the UK by doing a legal deal in 1994 with Norwegians. Remember I said the Norwegian guy?
Mm-hmm.
4 years later, I'm spanking the power markets. I mean, we are cleaving it, and its brain is being removed from its, it's undergoing this like, oh my God, supply and demand are going to talk to each other. And dude, they had 1,000 years of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you do that kind of thing, like people really don't want you here. There was another time where a very large bank that invites me to the most expensive dinner or restaurant for lunch and then threatens me with, "Hey, I'm going to call all my bank buddies up and we're going to pull the power off the grid and we're going to squeeze you and drive you into a liquidity crisis." Because they knew I was super, super, super sharp. I mean, power station sharp in the power market. And so, you know what? I finally got to a point when people are now paying attention because people have always underestimated me for sure. And that's been my golden, I hear that little accent of yours on it. Don't ever lose it, son. They're going to underestimate you because people are sarcastic and arrogant, I've learned.
Very
And,
egotistical.
I have gone into every market. Since I went into the United Kingdom. They said, "What are you here for?" I am going to correct this marketplace, and it's going to be painful. And I'm going to short this market 10 trillion decatherms. They all looked at me and went, "You Americans, you're so over the top," right? Like literally, I started to learn, oh, wow, share the truth strategy with everybody. Nobody believes you anyway. And if it's audacious, Elon didn't hide it from anybody. Not one person can keep up with a great vision, right? You can't copycat it either. So that's thinking big, man. And this
I
is
always say that. I always say that, Gary, that like you can't, people can steal your idea, they can steal your business, but they can't steal your passion. They can't steal, that what's inside you. And obviously, your story, growing up, small town Louisiana, I would assume, like you said, people were always betting against you. Then you find now you have multiple $1 million exits. Now you're getting into Bitcoin. And, I look at, we're on the brink of the spot ETF being approved. We're on the brink of where the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be approved. 88% of the Bitcoin supply is locked up. I mean, the Bitcoin halvening is right around the corner. So like where we're at now, but I guess, I think this cycle is going to be very, very similar to the previous cycles. But Gary, I guess what people would push back, what's different about this cycle, we weren't on the brink of World War III, right? So,
Nope.
but I think Bitcoin actually performs better than what people think in a World War III scenario. What do you think?
I think I don't wear brands, and I wore this for your audience. Okay. You boys, I do not wear jerseys and brands, but I think this asset is getting ready to do something that this world has never seen an asset class do ever. It's for a lot of technical reasons too. See, when I say it, I think people go, "Oh yeah, I'll let FTX and all." No. For some basic technical market reasons, this thing is an experiment that is getting ready to be tested on the world stage for sure. And I think it's going to be as an economic experience or experiment and experience. I think we have 9 months, no more than 9 months, to really start to think of this is a failed project or, oh my God, like I'm worried about it failing. I was just pinging Anthony actually, because I'm looking for a nice little nod into Michael Novogratz, who I don't know, and I would prefer, have somebody, hey,
I thought you were gonna say Michael Saylor.
Michael Novogratz, just to talk to him about something. But
Mhm.
where was I going with that thought? Oh, and I sent him a note. I think I can help their team with something on the reporting now that Treasury said. See, this is really interesting, Kevin. Your guys won't understand this, but like I'm tracking and you're tracking. Hey,
Mhm.
Treasury just dropped a 350-page document on the United States government, every broker, dealer, bank, institution, or investor in Bitcoin, and said, hey, if you're going to keep doing this, this is what you're required to do. Now, they're now giving you a green flag going, we consider this an asset class. We now have rules. These are our expectations. Play in the water at your own risk, but be prepared to be audited. Okay, that's the message. You're going to be audited. You're going to have to prove what you're doing here, which is awesome. Stop
Yeah,
fighting it. This is awesome.
you're
Report,
right.
give them what they want to see. They're going to get it anyway, dude. They've already got most of this shit. They didn't ask us for permission. They're going to be overwhelmed with the data anyway.
Mhm.
52 million people haven't paid their taxes. But when this thing hits an ETF, I think you're going to see that all the legacy companies have been looking at this asset class going, what a bunch of monkeys. I'm not sticking my neck out as a career. I'm not doing what Michael Saylor did. He was an idiot. Look at that guy. He's got ADDs, too intense, right? Then he got FASB approved. Okay. So not only do you get Treasury, okay, and you can slow me down. You know your audience better than I do. But then you get the FASB rules changed. FASB, the gap accounting treatment for anyone that would hold Bitcoin as a corporate on their balance sheet. They would treat it if it went down to $10 and went up to $1 million, you had to mark it at $10. It's only worth $10. That's draconian treatment on an asset class. Gross discrimination on an asset class, 15 years. Now they treat it like any other commodity. So it just moves up and down every quarter with the market, and they mark their books up and down. They get squeezed out. That's a big deal, though. It's the government saying we are giving you proper guidance on how this asset class is treated. Every moment before this moment, I believe, was extremely risky to be invested in Bitcoin. Now, you're an idiot not to understand what's getting ready to happen. This is clarity now, right?
Of
This is
course.
cheapest time we will ever be able to invest in this
Mhm.
asset class. Risk reward, everything we know and don't know, all the bad guys. The guy just got sent to prison, dude. That's good news.
Great news. You
This
need to
market
flush
now,
them out.
yeah, totally.
The rats are leaving the sinking ship. You know, y'all, the SEC has come out and said that Bitcoin's a commodity. And, you know, Gary, this is what I think happened because, you know, I've been saying that the spot ETFs can be approved. I've been saying that, you know, they'll never, how many times my friends would send me articles, China banned Bitcoin. I'm like, dude, you've sent me that article 30 times. What they're not understanding is that you cannot ban this asset like this. It doesn't go back in the box. It just exists. So what the government unfortunately has to do, because they hate a decentralized money that they don't control, what they're now saying is, okay, we'll let it go, but we're going to make you play in the confines where our SEC is the police, where we can tax it, where we can regulate it, where we can audit you at any time. So that's kind of the phase that we're at now. And the big money, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, they're not able to deploy capital the way somebody like I can, or, you know, somebody in my audience can. They have to move these systems in place in order, BlackRock's partnering with Coinbase right now. So you just got to kind of look behind the veil a little bit, and then you'll
Well,
see where this is all going.
yeah, now on the Coinbase thing, okay, this is the government's way of, they're actually, this is the case against the purists in Bitcoin, but Coinbase is being given kind of a anointment of the guy who is going to be the custodian for BlackRock's ETF. So this is quite interesting, right? You have BlackRock, and then the government said, hey, we've put a policing instrument into Coinbase that allows us to track this stuff easily. Quite frankly, it's a joke, okay? Because if you're on MetaMask and you think you're actually hiding from anyone, I've got to tell you, I know you're going to get angry with me, but I have millions of dollars invested in this industry. This is the most trackable asset class in the world, on and off the ramps. If you think you're hiding, you're not. Use US dollars, okay? Like that $100 little bill that doesn't weigh anything. that's the one you want to use because, like, they already know what you did. I mean,
Oh,
I've had these discussions, so it's silly. This is like you should not. You got to pay your taxes if you're going to live in this country.
yeah.
If you don't, leave. Leave.
So,
I
yeah.
think
So,
people are going to leave. Actually, I think people are going to leave. I think they're going
so
to leave because not just because of Bitcoin, but they're going to leave and not because of taxes, because they don't want to pay for war anymore, and they're
well,
sick of shit. That's why I think
that's
people leave.
yeah. So taxation is theft. I'm with you. I'm with you, Gary. But we are a nation of
I know
laws. So
we have to pay. We have to pay to fund the roads. Look, it's just waste. I'm not saying we don't pay taxes.
it's all waste. It's all waste. But what the government realized that, Gary, if you go around the streets, and I've seen people in videos do this, and they go up and ask people if they support the war in Ukraine or the war in the Middle East, and the people will say, yeah, I support. And they say, okay, well, how much of your paycheck are you going to donate to that? And they're, oh, I'm not doing that. So the government realizes, hey, we can't tax people to fund these wars because they'd riot. There'd be riots in the streets. They'd maybe even vote out these politicians. But what they can do is inflate the money supply, the expanding of the M1 money supply, which creates the inflation that we're now dealing with. Then what Biden and Elizabeth Warren and what Jerome Powell, what they'll do is they'll blame Putin, they'll blame COVID, they'll blame climate change, they'll blame something crazy. And look, hey, anybody just joining this episode, man, if you want to join the show, type some questions for Gary in the chat, man. All topics. We're just talking crypto, Bitcoin, but yeah, so Bitcoin is kind of seen as the safe haven asset, but you're right. It is an open source ledger, meaning that it is 100% trackable. But what you left out, Gary, is this. Let's say you have some Bitcoin on a flash drive and you
Yep.
go get your hair cut. And
Yep.
then you take that $100 of Bitcoin and you hand that flash drive to that kid. That is not trackable. Now, that kid goes and loads that Bitcoin onto something like Uniswap, a decentralized exchange, and swaps it for some type of privacy token or a different altcoin. That's where the government is really, really scared, because if the government can't control the money, then they lose all power. If they don't have money to fund endless wars, then what do they have? It's over. It's all over for them.
Yeah, look, if you're trying to trap people, let's just take this out of who's doing what to who. There's two types of people on the planet. There's givers and takers, period. Um, the greatest generals or leaders that I have ever seen or really cared to study deeply, if you study, I think some of the historical leaders of our time supposedly changed the whole planet. We're starting to discover that they're a bit more flawed than we thought, maybe even grossly flawed, unethical, immoral, and criminal. I think the whole construct's getting ready to people are either gonna understand that, look, if you're a taker and you're in control, you're gonna take, and you're gonna take, and you're gonna take. That's what you do. Now, let's remember there's more takers than there are givers. I think that would be a really good discussion, but the taker, the extreme taker that skewed everything, what got him there? It got him there by all the apathy that occurred right here,
Mhm.
right here, right here, all the apathy. Okay, every one of you people, everybody listening to this, okay, you're literally go on your credit card bill and look at who you're spending money with. You stop to think about. Let me ask you a question, Kevin.
Mhm.
If you wanted to buy an automobile and you're going to go buy the $150,000 Rambler or whatever, right? And you go down to the dealership, he's going to cut you a deal because he's your buddy. You know it's going to cost you $15,000 less, but you know he's a pedophile. No, really. You're going to do business with him?
No.
Exactly. Okay, there are people. Okay, if he's a drug dealer, you're going to do business with him? Probably
I
not.
mean,
If you
define
know,
drug deal. There's different drugs now, Gary.
well, see. Oh, we're getting ready to talk about the slope then. So,
Slippery. So you're right.
is it crack cocaine or is it okay if it's Roach Laboratories? See,
It,
and what about Raytheon and Halliburton and the war machines? See, the point I'm trying to make is we have become unconscious investors, and I am by no means a greenie, but we have become unconscious, I think, at almost every level,
mhm.
because we have been put into a position to be rats, to looking for free cheese in every rat trap. Okay, we have a economy that I'm a rich guy. Okay, you know the problem? Not everyone around me is rich. That's a problem, okay? I told a guy once, I said, there's 7 million kids on Adderall and other drugs in the United States. I don't know anything about chemistry. I'm not making a judgment. I am making a judgment that 7 million children in the United States cannot possibly need methamphetamine. Okay. That for me is like, wow, that's really hard for me to buy after the opiate deal with the Stackler family who's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, electrocute them. Okay. Like, that's not cool. We're still paying for that. Watch, we're going to pay for that problem for 30 years. Okay.
Well,
Junkies, like, their brains have been tossed. There's no real recovery from it. And they knew what they were doing, dude. And someone let them off. And we can just go back. Oh, the COVID thing, too, by the way. They
mm-hmm.
talk about going next level. Like, guys, if you don't go next level, the gorilla, the Godzilla, King Kong, who just keeps eating everything, he is going to eat you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just make a point that I think we're actually helping these people. You just said it. Hey, how do you define drugs? Dude, you define drugs by something that's solving a symptom and it's not hitting the core it's not addressing the core issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're never going to solve the problem that way, right? And that's how our nation moves through the whole world today. Our entire goal in life is to not have any pain, make
Mm-hmm.
sure quarterly earnings look really good, build a $1 trillion business, but those 90-day earnings have to be beautiful or we're going to sell you off. The compensation incentive structures have become so distorted in this world where the real human is being devalued. Money is being devalued, always has been, always will be. And guess what comes with it? Human beings. See, we talk about money. It's human beings being devalued. Okay. I just went through a divorce, an FTC settlement, lawsuit, 3 fucking years, $7 million. I did nothing wrong. Crazy deal, right? I mean, insane. For last 4 years of my life has been, people make a comment. They're like, hey, man, that old Grant looks really bad, man. It's like, dude, you guys are rough on people, man. They don't even consider what someone's been through, right? Like, the judgment that's so easy to throw out. Where I'm headed with this is I find this to be a really interesting point in time. And it's giving me something to really like, okay, hey, look, that was a little fucking shitty. Let's move into something that's really positive because I learned from this kind of stuff. I mean, all this stuff I've been through, it just makes you like, you do not want to go against Gary, right? I'm not a guy that you want, like, everybody's tried it and it's just not it's not a winning solution because I get excited about it. It keeps me alive.
Yeah, you whether it's you or your brother, I've watched your brother's content, for a long time. I definitely would not bet against y'all. But hey, anybody join the show, man, drop your questions in the chat. But going back to what you were saying about the pharmaceutical companies, I mean, my audience can attest to this. I've called out these frauds since day one. I've called out Big Pharma since day one. I live in a town that was hit so hard by the opioid crisis. They literally made a Netflix documentary on my town called The Pharmacist in Chalmette.
Oh,
So
wow.
you brought up the Adderall situation and, we saw that, the pain pill addiction and got people basically, they go to heroin next, right? That's the next phase. Well, what's happening with the Adderall is what they do and they can't get that. They're going to actual meth. So that's the next epidemic, caused by Big Pharma that, unfortunately our politicians, are mostly funded by Big Pharma. So they're not going to do anything to stop it. So circling back Web3, blockchain and Bitcoin, what this represents to
Before you
me.
go there, I
Yeah.
just would be remiss on this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Look, news media has not done us any favors. I believe news media is, I'm going to make a prediction here. The media's industry as we knew it will die the most embarrassing death before Bitcoin hits $150,000.
You might be right. I mean, I know they show some of the, CNN.
I think they're actually related.
Yeah. CNN had launched like a CNN Plus and like the subscribers was like so low. You're watching, these legacy media companies die. And like you said, they're killing themselves.
Like,
I mean,
how many subscribers do you have, man? How many viewers will end up seeing this, do you think?
not,
Uniques.
Probably around 100 to 200, but it's also streaming on a bunch of different platforms. But what's crazy about content, Gary, because I know
Get
you
ready to increase now, bro. I mean, I'm
w-
getting ready to wipe you out.
yeah.
My man.
Well, what's interesting with the content, like a long form interview like this, you can cut it up, some good parts, and those shorts will get 10 to 20,000
Yeah.
views. So that's the fun part of it.
Yeah, it is. It is. But see, survey moment. It
Mhm.
shows me exactly what I'm talking about. See, we're a convenience industry. If you don't sit down and listen to 90 minutes of a guy that actually built 5 multi-billion-dollar companies, and he's open and he's talking about FTC lawsuits and divorce, you're absolutely nobody can help you. Like, you might as well stick a gun on your thigh and shoot it 3 times if you can. Um, Look, dude, this thing's happening so fast. CNN posted 722,000 viewers,
Mhm.
over. Wow.
And
Wow.
what's interesting about those
Awesome.
numbers is CNN is on at like all the airports, at the DMVs, basically all the government. So
Their
it's like,
return on capital is stupidly bad. It's
mhm,
horrible. Trump, he got 250 million views the night he came out with his mugshot.
mhm.
Cost him $20, bro.
So you think
See,
the
this is the way
indictments?
this is the way I look at things. I look at this and go, the indictments against Trump don't even matter. The media is gonna get ripped into pieces so quick.
Mhm.
No one's watching about the Israeli-Palestine war that's watching reality unless they're on X, dude.
What do you
My
think about X
sister
since
my
Elon took
sister
over?
my sister had no clue
Mhm.
what's really going on until I actually sent her to the right place. She was like, "Oh my god, I can't even deal with this information. I wanna kill myself." This is like, "Whoa." We have now news, dude, transparency. Remember I talked about transparency?
Mhm.
When transparency enters any kind of construct, what does a dark club that has a monopoly want to do? Shadow it, shade it, obscure it, don't let anybody see. It's special. We're technologists, defense, blah, blah. The problem is that black box always creates a little issue in the wood pile, like we used to say in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? In the wood pile. So I think is we're literally taking what CNN, Fox, and every one of the other players who we trusted our news to have abused us. We now have decentralized citizen journalism, people asking questions like this. CNN doesn't have the humility to invite me to their platform.
It's propaganda. I
All
mean,
they do is invite the same people, and they're paying them. They're
mhm.
paying them to be little bitches, okay, little whores, little rats, and these guys are getting paid this consulting fees. I mean, hundreds of $1,000, dude, okay,
Mhm.
for 12 appearances a year. You do 5 of those gigs, and then guess what? They become unproductive. They have so much cash, they're not investing that money. They're talking heads. They're total prostitutes. And guys like me, they can't even control. Like Grant, they won't even invite Grant anymore because we're like, "Hey, we're not answering that stupid question."
Well, like with
Mm.
CNN, think about it, man. If they're, this credible news source, then why wouldn't they bring people on and debate them?
Well,
That's the
it's
one thing
not
people.
but see, we don't need to worry about what they're doing. This is
Exactly.
where I shine.
Mhm.
What we need to worry about is, 1, why is only 200 people listening to this right now? Okay, you should be talking to your mom, your sister, your aunt, your brother. Why aren't you introducing Kevin to your family if you're spending an hour a week with him? Okay, why? Like, spread the news, man. Okay, get some people. If you're digging it, your family's
They
gonna dig it
they
too. 'Cause
think
Kevin's
crypto's a
bringing
scam.
old guys on.
They think crypto's a scam. They think my mom, they think it's fake. They saw the FTX Sam Bankman-Fried stuff, and they think that, they call him the Bitcoin guy. And, not just my family, a lot of my friends, like they don't understand it. And, it's gonna
It's
pass them
just
up.
Kevin,
Mhm.
uh, let's really go basic on it. They don't understand they don't understand history.
Mhm.
So not only do they not understand this, they don't actually understand how industries and transformation occurs. The alcohol business that is in place today in the United States was built on total crime, murder, killing, gambling, extortion. Okay. And then we appointed a president of the United States whose family benefited from that. Nobody talks about that. Even nobody cares. I don't give a what Donald Trump did 30 years ago. Like, go beat up whoever you got to beat up, Donald. And I'm pretty sure they're the same kind of guys like you. And if you want to stick it in somebody's butt, I don't care, man. You're the president of the United States. Like, don't abuse the secretary. Dude, these other guys are doing the same thing. What, we want our president all holy moly, the general of the military all holy moly, and then you're going against guys you're telling me they're so evil? You don't put virginity against evil, okay? That's just dumb. And this is our planet, dude. Our country has gotten stupid.
Yeah.
So, like, I just look at the fact, hey, why do you only have 200 people? It's Friday night. I guarantee you there's 1,000 people out there that are bored. They're getting ready to go to the bar they don't want to go. They're going to do shit they shouldn't do, and they're going to be unhappy when they come back. In fact, they're going to be unhappier. And you and I don't need to be doing this, man.
Oh,
Right?
you a G for doing it. It's funny because I think it was in your interview either with Patrick or your brother where you said that you and Grant were talking. An idle mind is the devil's playground. So quickly. And I've been guilty of it. I'm not perfect, but my friends and stuff. Oh,
You're not perfect?
nah, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, but people will say, "Oh, I don't have time to learn it. Oh, I don't care." But they got time for Netflix, they got time for video games, they got time for drugs, they got time for strip clubs, and I don't have money to invest. Like, dude, you at the casino last night? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that right now where we're at is that people are kind of being lulled to sleep, and the bigger issue would be the markets, that they want to keep, young people out of the markets. They want them to be stuck with the inflation to pay the bill for the wars. And they really don't want there to be a rising middle class. They don't want this idea of American exceptionalism to grow, because if the American experiment works, then all these third world countries are going to want this there. And what happens if that happens there? Then they're not able to extract the resources from these third world countries by keeping them in poverty. So that's kind of the bigger issue. And we're all, if you, the programming, the Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird, the different media systems that are in place, a lot of people call it the Matrix. That's kind of the term that's used, is this matrix-like system that is designed to keep young people. Now, what protects me and what protects a lot of my friends that get it, I think, is your spiritual relationship, your relationship with God. And I think that once you're able to tap into that you kind of have like plot armor. I mean, obviously, anybody can die at any time. That's not what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but you're protected from, I don't know. Have you heard the term MK Ultra?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you don't think that you're immune to the MK Ultra, because it's a system. It's a system. And it's very hard for me to explain that system, like kind of like what Morpheus says in the Matrix. Like, nobody can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. And so Neo had to take that red pill in order to see it. So he took the red pill, and if you guys remember in the Matrix, what Cypher said that backstabbed the resistance, what Cypher was like, well, hold on. You kind of tricked us into taking this red pill. And when we took this red pill, we didn't know, like, you put us in a war we didn't know we're in. Most people are born into this bondage. They're born into this world. They're born into these wars that that have been going on for generations, like the stuff in the Middle East. That's been going on since the start of time. And you want me to pick a side or to even factually comprehend what's going on over there when I'm, what I'm saying? Like, it's impossible. Hey, Gary, we do have a question that just came in. My boy Mosiah, he's out in LA. Are you familiar with Jonathan May's book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman?
I am.
You are?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. Look, it's funny. I'm glad you brought that up, Messiah. I'm not familiar with this book, but I'm on this thing. Gary, I drive a lot. So I'm trying to, while I'm driving, instead of listening to the garbage radio, just put an audio book on. And
for sure, man.
it's so addictive. It's so addictive where I'll get to where I'm going to, and I'll just keep listening to the book.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Hey, thank you, sir, for that question. Yes, I have read it, and people should read it if you don't already know what's really happening. But uh, what subject, if a guy like me were to write a book or do an audio thing, what subject do you find really difficult to get from, someone that you're like, hey, you know what, that void is not filled.
Mhm.
There's just and there's a lot of voids. I think people really underestimate. This is my point about media. Uh, I mean, I actually should get an award from Elon because I was on space the other night. I actually think the guy's going to probably call me. So I'm looking at spaces because I'm not like my brother. Like
Mhm.
we are really, really, really different creatures. I'm an extremely strategic thinker. I'm looking at spaces. I got on spaces 6 months ago, man. Okay,
Mhm.
I will have over 100,000 viewers by March. Like I'm gonna spank this thing, but I'm gonna hit it with a Gary Cardone force. I'm just gonna do it in monster volume without paying anyone anything. Okay,
Yeah.
I actually want to test this. Hey, I ain't paying anybody shit to do
Mhm.
anything. I want to see what is organic, natural need. People, I think, are like, I don't even think people today can express what they need. And this is my reason. I went on X the other day. And I'm like, hey, let me think about some subjects that I think would be fascinating on this platform. Besides just talking about war and your view of how you read the fucking Bible. Okay. Like, I don't care anymore. Stop killing people. All people, not just kids. Stop it, man. Knock it off. It's stupid. Okay. Especially it's illogical. We have a declining population. It doesn't even make any sense, man.
Elon said that. Elon said that's
Yeah,
the number one problem.
this is a real deal, dude. They like inflation. If you're looking at growth in a company and it's less than 2.5%, you're dead. You're dead. Okay. We have a population rate that's less than 2.5%. You're dead as an organism, as a species. Um, so we're not paying attention to a lot of pieces of data. But like for you,
Mhm.
what's missing in those audios? Because I actually think it would be easier for me to do a whole audio on my like a whole section. It would be a little clunky because the way I think. But I'd like to know what that is because I got people wanting me to write books, and they're like, "Hey, let me ghost it." And I'm like, "I'm not letting anybody write my own shit, dude."
I would like to, if I could like, pick your brain, I would like to say, okay, what I've noticed with me is that whether it's been real estate or the different businesses I've had that, kind of like, when you're working out and you kind of plateau and I get to a level where it's like, you're doing well. You can't say you're doing bad, but it's just like a flat line.
You look good enough not to have to go that extra mile.
Yeah, and I know your brother talks about 10x, 10x, and that's great and all, but to actually implement it, like I'm more of like analytical in you in a sense. Like I need to know, whether it's YouTube, whether it's my real estate portfolio, whether it's crypto, is how to really make that next step. And I think that the only way I can get that, that's why I've been reading a lot. I think through books and through mentors is the only way I'm gonna get it. And when my time comes, I'll be ready. You know what I'm
Your
saying?
time is
So
now, my man. Do not
yeah,
waste a freaking minute. The time is right. How old are you?
38, 38.
Bro, you're like, this is peak optimal, logical. This is better than 27 because 27's stupid.
I was dumb. Yeah, I was pretty dumb.
Oh, dude, everybody's dumb. Okay. If you think I'm wrong, an idiot. And like seriously. Uh, and it'll be the NBA that's disagreeing with me. Right now, he'll be like, "Oh, I hate that guy. I hate him." Well, you know what? You might hate me, dude, but most of you guys end up working for a guy like me.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the truth, right? Because when the shit's hitting the fan, there's so many broken companies right now people are working for. You don't
Mhm,
work for a company. But I think there is a colossal amount of companies that are literally out of blood. Like,
mhm.
they are walking carcasses that zero value other than employment. In the thousands of dead brain people who hate going to work, but they hate going to work less than they hate staying at their house. That's sad, man.
It's pretty crazy. Then when you throw in, the AI boom and that,
Oh, that's the salvation. That's the
what,
salvation, dude. Because I want a
what
great life. I don't want this mediocre life. See, I want an extreme, brilliant life. I was with Patrick the other day. He died. He didn't know what because everybody thinks I'm Grant, and they don't know how to. They might not like Grant, and then they're like, "Dude, why do I like this other guy? I mean, he looks like Grant." And, it's a very weird thing, but
How long you been knowing Patrick?
a while. But I mean, I basically said, "Hey, I'm ready for the Neuralink." Right? Well, he died laughing. Well, I'm serious, dude. Like I
Don't
would
do it.
65, dude. I'm 65. At 65, like, what do I have? What do I have great quality left? I want quality. I
Mhm.
don't care how many years it is. I want to go out of this world like a firecracker, not like, people having to take care of me and wipe my ass, dude. Fucking let me blow out, right? Um, and so, like, my mental capacity only has so much bandwidth. So
Yeah.
to me, I would be a good guy to be a rat for Elon, but I think there's gonna be a lot of people, dude, that tap in.
Oh, well, so first it's gonna be the Neuralink. It's gonna be people that have, different mental disorders, and it's gonna help those people. Now, what I'm worried
I
about
have a
is
lot of those. I qualify.
what the issue is that, and this ain't conspiracy. This is straight from the World Economic Forum. Is they're saying by 2050 there won't be humans anymore. It's going to be a new species that merges with the machine, with the Neuralink like technology. And Gary, that's where I get off the boat, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting any type of chip in me. I get all the benefits, but I don't trust these systems. I don't trust these institutions. And I do think Elon's a good guy, but you better hope he's a good guy, because when the guy that, has, X, he has all these companies, he has the biggest media company, he has, Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company. You better hope he's a good guy, because he's trying to put chips in everyone. So that's where I got to get off the boat, man. But it is kind of scary, because what they're saying is that there's going to be a class of useless humans, of useless eaters, they're called. And it's going to be the people that don't, put the chip, because, if you think about it, we're kind of like primitive AI right now. I mean, think about it. You have your smartphone, and you use your smartphone as your GPS. You use it to Google stuff. That you're using it for so much, it's just not in you yet. And once it's in you, and it can link with your brain, computer, your interface, that's going to be a game changer. But for me, man, I guess I'll live the Amish life. Maybe I'll move with them if it gets to that in my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, there's only one thing that is a constant, man, and it is change. And
Mhm,
we're doing things today that had I told you we would be doing it, you would have said, "Dude, you're out of your mind." Okay.
mhm,
In your pocket, you have 7 ways to pay for almost anything.
mhm.
30 or 40,000 videos and audio files. If I would have told you that 20 years ago, you'd been like, "Really, dude? I don't think that's true." I'm carrying it in my pocket. It weighs less than an ounce. That you could reach out to me and have a video call on a Friday night in November. That's so high quality. CNN is challenged to make a difference between their quality and your quality.
Oh, it's incredible.
Okay, I have $10,000 worth of equipment in here. You said, "Hey, man, you got a great camera." Yeah, I can spend 1,500 to 6,000, dude. This is no money. I heard a podcast the other day going, "Oh, it's so expensive to set up my platform." I'm like, "Bro, the leverage here is stupid." Okay,
Were you talking about in terms of building your brand?
well, whatever you wanna do, right? But she's like, "Oh,
Mhm,
these cameras are really expensive." Dude, the fiber's free, okay? The
mhm,
camera will last you 10 years. You are a little whiner. You don't even have enough content to understand what you're doing. It's hilarious, man.
mhm.
I think all the people that came into this pipe before us, I'm glad I didn't come in here. Now, I wish I'd have come in here like my brother did, but I had circumstances that would not allow.
He was a bull in a china shop when he came
There's
in.
always
You know
one, dude. There's always look, to your audience, there is always one in every industry. And it's just not you because you decided not it to be you. It's literally every industry has a ball buster in it.
Mhm. Did you think he was going to be that big when he, broke down his plan for social media? And because maybe I don't, I gotta.
Dude, I thought he was irritating. I think Grant has taken a long time to do this.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's been putting out consistent content for, man, it's got to be at least 10 years, if not longer, huh?
Yeah, and most of the guys here will be like, "Whoa, that's really long." Well, let me tell you, his wife, when he's dead, dude, she's gonna make billions. So, see, the way people think about this opportunity is wrong. Your guys are going, "Whoa, 10 years?" Now, look, I'm probably gonna end up with more. This is what I will bet. That I can, if I put half the energy into what he's done, because my timing is different, that I could probably, for a lot less money and energy than what he put into the space, without using his name whatsoever, he doesn't actually benefit me. Maybe some people think I get, maybe I do. Okay, it's cool. We have a good name. I'm really proud that my dad and mom have a good name.
That's your legacy. Your last name, that's your legacy.
That's their legacy, right? It was a deal I made. Hey, dude, I ain't never gonna mess up the name. I mean, that was my dad's deal. Like, hey, they can. He was a conspiracy. I think he was because he's like, they can take everything away from you except your name.
Where you living now, Gary?
I'm in St. Pete, man. St. Pete, Florida, dude. I love it
St.
here.
Pete is awesome, man.
Dude, if
I
you're
was thinking of
unhappy
moving to
where you live,
Sarasota.
no, don't move to Sarasota, dude. They're
Why?
boring. They all have like really cheap dildos, and like it's not. Come to St. Pete. It's cool. New Orleans, dude. We have a vibe in St. Pete that's like New Orleans, Soho, artistic, vibey. You get some shit that you don't like, but it's a
I've
bit.
been. I went on that main strip where all those bars and restaurants are.
Yeah,
Everything's
yeah,
so
Central,
clean and nice.
Central, man. It's cool, dude. Before you go to Sarasota, you come visit me. You will not go to Sarasota.
I swear I looked at property in St. Pete, but I kind of thought, it might have been some of it a little overpriced. But I don't know about you. I think the real estate crash is
I got a
coming.
property right down the street, 58. You got kids, right?
No kids. No kids.
Girly girl?
No girl. Single.
You're not a boy, right? You're not into boy. Oh, so you're single.
No,
Well, probably got
no.
too big of a house. Dude, move to St. Pete and go in downtown condo.
I got,
4-to-1 women ratio.
4-to-1.
And they love going to the beach, dude. Greatest beaches in the United States, my boy. You can't
One of my good friends, she moved there, and that's what she told me.
Dude, 4-to-1 women. Not that I'm I've been out of practice, so I probably need a young guy like you to come in and lead the way. But it is. I will tell you, like I could live anywhere in the world. I've lived in London, Houston, Central London, outside. I lived in a 400-year-old mill house in the middle of the country.
Yeah,
I would literally land in there in a helicopter and fucking piss off all the English people. But St. Pete, really, I have never like bragged about a place, but we have big roads, and I'm from Texas, Louisiana. Like, hey, I need big roads, man. So expansion occurs. It's not Miami. Okay, Miami's the city where you have 1,000 Lambos that never get out of first gear. Hilarious, dude. Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete area, and each area has its own little vibe. So if you're a little more conservative, you're going to end up in Tampa. If you're a little more like hippie kind of, you're going to end up in St. Pete. Free, heavy tech here.
really.
Happy Woods is here. I'm here. I know of 2 other companies that are getting ready.
Elon's got a house in Sarasota, and so does General Flynn, I think.
And Elon's talk in Sarasota, yeah. The airports, we have 2 airports, Tampa and PIE. One, they're both public and private. And then I think the airports, Tampa Bay Airport's rated number 2 in the United States.
Really?
That's the problem with the other. Orlando doesn't have that. Sarasota doesn't have that. We want
Fort
you here.
Lauderdale's got a good airport.
Yeah, but bro, go check the prices out. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
Ripped off by all those billionaires that moved from New York.
So this is what happened, Gary. They had a tornado that hit Araby, Louisiana. I lost my house in it. So I got my insurance money. I'm cool. I got a paid off double lot. So I basically and I've been saving I've been working a lot. So I have like one bullet, and I'm kind of like waiting for this crash to occur. And
What do you mean one
Florida,
bullet?
one bullet in a sense of like, I'm saving up to buy a property cash. And I just going to
Hey, how big's the wedge, man?
well,
Kinda
so
give me a kinda a rainbow kinda size on it.
I can get cash if I have to, I got a lot of
I'm just
equity.
thinking about it in the way I would approach that. If you have like, okay, I'm waiting for a big hit. Am I hearing that correctly? You're waiting.
Well, here's the deal. So I have my insurance settlement. Good number, good number. I have just cash I've been saving, but I have equity in all my rental properties that I could cash out refi, but I could also sell my lot. I mean, lots around here where they'll sell about for about 80,000. It's paid off. So I have a lot of avenues and I'm just kind of waiting. I'm just kind of sitting on my hands. And I swear St. Pete, Sarasota, Miami, those areas I was looking. And I know you and Grant talk a lot about getting out of your hometown. You got to get out the hometown. But
Oh, you're in your hometown?
yeah, still.
Oh, bro. I'm not even gonna let you finish, okay?
Good. Tell me.
You need to leave, dude.
Where I'm gonna go.
It doesn't matter. See, where you're going is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
The experience you're gonna have not being comfortable, that's what's relevant.
Yeah.
You must. Dude, at 21 years old, I literally got on an airplane and flew to, Texas, took a job, would have taken any damn job. By 29, I was on an airplane, first class, United Airlines BA Airlines, flying to London, talking to a lady next to me saying, "Hey, ma'am, I've never traveled around the world. Like, can you give me any advice?" And she said 2 things to me. She said, "Son, when you get to London, don't hang around any Americans. Embed yourself into the local community. If you move to St. Pete, cool, dude. You're the only Texan in St. Pete except me, and I'll introduce you to whoever. But don't hang around a bunch of Texans. Like, get
No,
known."
New Orleans.
Yeah, well, wherever, New Orleans.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get rid of the little thing that makes you important in that little tiny pool. This is the deal, right? Like, big fish goes to a big pond. Uh-oh, now what? Right?
Mhm.
And dude, this will exercise your muscles. Look, you're 39. You're not gonna bench press 350 every year. It's not going to happen. This is the most underrated competitive sport in the world. Building businesses and moving your life around and like building shit, dude, it's awesome. Like, if you look the way I do when you're 65, like, I think you've done something pretty good because I'm like, I'm alive, dude.
Doing
Like, and
something
so
right, yeah.
I keep moving around, man. Like, I do not. My
So give
kids
give
have
me the
lived in
playbook.
12 homes, dude.
Here
13-year-old lived in 12 homes. You know what? You would love to
here's
hire her. You'd be like, "Man, she's lived in 13 homes, 3 countries, been on 700 airplanes, had a private teacher, like sat in rooms with Gary in London, and private equity rooms on the 48th floor in a freaking board meeting. It's got 40-foot rooms." Like, these kids that have consumed data is like, I think it's gonna turn them into animals,
Mhm.
like beasts. That's what you need to do, dude. Get out of the comfort zone. And
So
it's
here's
hard.
my
I know it's
pushback.
hard.
I've been thinking about it for a while. One, I kind of wanted to build up the YouTube a little bit, and have a
Can do
lot
that
of.
from anywhere, bro.
You're right. You're right.
Ooh, I'm smoking on you now.
The other thing is, and I'll be curious to see what you're going to say to this. I'm very concerned with the upcoming election and what's going to happen. And I kind of like the home field advantage I have for now. You're right. It's a comfort zone, but I kind of wanted to see what happens with the election. And then, I was going to, by then I'm thinking, the market will come down, insurance going up. I'll be able to make a move. But, I just feel like it's all predetermined. And that's going to happen when it happens.
Yeah, so what's your question?
So would you wait till after the presidential election?
Bro, I don't ever wait for anything. If you wait for the presidential election, you're telling me that you're the effect of some other decision.
Yeah. So the other issue would be
Dude,
that
this country is going to shit in a handbasket.
Mhm.
Okay? If Trump is allowed in, it's because he escaped assassination.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, so trust no one, verify everything, do whatever you want to do. If you're sitting there going, "Hey, I need to stay in town," I'm telling you, that's a huge mistake. Okay. My brother will tell you that he needed to leave the tit. It's
Yeah.
actually something I think I'm very surprised that this hasn't been an interview survey stat because I would bet a large sum of money that most of the people that have done extremely well without subsidies, I'm not talking about Elon subsidies, but mommy and daddy, I think you're going to find a lot of people moved out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you go back to tribal days, at the age of around 14, the boys, 15, the boys were ripped from their mother's breast and the comfort, and they were taken on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not do the journey in the neighborhood.
Would you buy a property? Should I buy or should I go there and rent?
Why would you buy anything?
I'm
You,
just, I don't know, man.
you're an exploiter of opportunity.
Yeah.
You don't need to buy anything in this market. You can rent something from me, dude. I got a place. I'll smash you in the house. Rent that son of a bitch to you tomorrow morning.
I might take you up on that.
You know what I'll do? 5,800 square feet, 4-acre lake, a full-on basketball court with lights.
I love basketball.
A 1-acre property, 4 bedrooms, and a studio room that all it needs is some carpet and soundproofing. And we put 6 different studios in a place. Like I'm in this space for like 3 years and I'm like, okay, I can build that business. I can build that business. I mean, dude, there's so much to do in this space. It's unbelievable. But I need to be around other energetic guys. Like I was running around with you. You know what really pisses me off about doing business? Your audience won't know this, but we set this up 30 minutes ago and my cameraman leaves me with like he's an idiot. I'm telling you, John, fucking wake up, bro. Okay. Operate at my level, you cannot leave a cable undone because you know why? I trusted John completely. I have no interest in knowing how to camera. I own an airplane. I have never sat in the front seat of the plane. I have zero interest in knowing how that airplane works. Okay.
But the person flying it, you need them to.
I just trust him, dude. I have to delegate. Okay. Now, if people are going to let me down, right? I don't have your link. Now we're adding a lot of people. We're going through growth. This is like the 10th company I've built. Guess what? It's always like this. It's like, because you don't have your team developed yet. So I get to yell at them tomorrow morning and go, hey, what the are you guys doing? I'm paying you like 15 grand a month and or whatever you pay them. And you're asking me to do the interviews and hook up the cables. That's not happening. Because you know what? That's going to suck the life out of my life. I don't want to do that, right? That's going to make it not fun when what we should be worrying about is, hey, how do we expand very rapidly? And I think this is a world today where we're discussing, this is a collaboration event. If we collaborate, we will all do so much better than if we treat this as a competitive environment. I'm getting ready to show people what is capable of being done with zero money online. And they should be terrified, dude, because they're sitting here going, hey, I had 1 million views the other night on Twitter and like I only got paid $40. I'm like, bro, you better, I hope you save that 40 and turn it into Bitcoin because I'm taking it to zero. Because I value this more than the money. And like, imagine if you have 100 guys like me going, I don't need to make any money. Anderson Cooper has to make money. Okay. So these are really very different dynamics now. You have a whole media group that like, hey, I have to make money. Then you have a new group of people going, no, we're going to acquire millions of followers by providing a platform on real information, education, finance, Bitcoin, how to stay healthy properly without using drugs. Okay, let's move into a digital world where we're all doing better with less energy, less effort, and we're not worried about our automobile hasn't been washed today. Oh my God. Who cares about washing their car, dude?
You know, I haven't been on a vacation in a while, Gary, and it's crazy that St. Pete was on my list. So how about this? I'm gonna come up to, and I wish you, man, when we set this interview up, I asked him, I said, look, man, if y'all want me to fly out to, St. Pete, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'll fly out to St. Pete.
What did they say? What did they say to you, by the way?
Oh, they would no, they were cool. They were all your whole team. They were real nice. They would just kind of, tell me, he can do it on
Who did you
stream.
deal with, man?
Man, what, hold on, I'll tell you his name.
Philip Boy.
Gregory.
Okay.
Yeah, he was cool. You know what I'm saying? He,
No, Greg's great. I'm just
yeah,
trying to get feedback on how this is being done because I actually think this is a bigger opportunity than all you people that have been doing this.
uh-huh.
I think it's like a once in a human history event.
I'm starting to see it. And how about this, Gary? Next episode let's do another episode together and we'll do it live. I'll bring my equipment up when I come. We'll do it live. I'll try to, book you said you got a studio. Maybe we book a cool location or something. And, I think
we'll figure all the details out. The details come after commitment.
I like that.
Love to have you down, bro. Love to have you.
Look, I got all of Gary's links, man. Make sure to give him a follow. He's got his channel now. I'm really interested to see how he grows, because, he does have a different kind of vision than his brother Grant. But how about this? Y'all let us know in the comments. Y'all want to see us do another video, and we'll do it live from St. Pete. I think that sounds like a winner. I'm due for a vacation, and who knows, man? I'm gonna look at real estate. When I say I'm going on vacation, the future is decentralized.
Grant's looking at Tampa real estate all over the place right now.
Oh man, I would love to, man, sit down with him and look at Zillow with him and show him stuff I look at, because I think I'm no Graham, not on that level, but I really do pride myself on finding.
Let's not pass Grant, man. Let's do our own deal. We could do it.
I'm down. I'm down to do that.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Gary, y'all, man, make sure to give my boy.
This guy, man. This guy's a good guy. Okay, don't dick him around. Support him, bang him, hammer him, do whatever. Like re-comment, because the algorithms are really important for this cat. This cat's trying to build a community, okay, and he's going to help me, because if he likes me, then he builds his community. This is what I'm talking about, collaboration.
The network effect.
It's like if he wants 50 cents a month, send the guy 50 cents, okay? You're spending $5 a day on Starbucks for yourself. So just reallocate your funding and support channels that can like make connections. Kevin's reached out to me. There's 20 people that didn't have his guts. Help him, okay? Support him. He's your like channel into the future. I think it's in the future. I mean, I'm really excited. Kevin, I could hire 30 people tomorrow. No education. The problem is I don't see the hustle. I don't see the respect. I don't see the responsibility. Guy leaves a cable loose. Amateur, okay? Either he's an amateur or he's actually trying to thwart my effort. It's one or the other.
I've left some cables loose. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all, this YouTube shit,
out, right? Like, see that?
I know what you're saying now.
You get to a point where you go, "Hey, I can't do the cables." They know. I definitely don't know about anything about the cables. So, hey, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate your questions and the conversation.
Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in, man. Please give Gary a follow, and we'll follow up with part 2, man. Who knows, man? Be live from St. Pete. Anyway, y'all, we are out. Peace.
Crush.